What's good, YouTube? Some of you all have been asking, hey, when did you start playing video games? And, I hear you talking about you used to be good back in the day and all this kind of stuff. And some of you all may even be curious about exactly what was the origin of you starting to excel at video games. Well, for those of you that are curious, here you go. All right, here we go. Um, let's go all the way back to the days of Nintendo. I had the privilege of growing up with a brother that is 6.5 years older than I am. So my brother has always been like an exceptional athlete. You know, he was all American on in some publications in football as a high schooler. Um, he was heavily recruited out of high school. Had numerous write-ups in the paper. He was all state. He was that dude. Like, he was somebody that I always looked up to because it didn't just happen in high school for him. My brother was the guy that he was that dude on the football field. Like, my mom often has a story of she remembers the opposing team being so afraid of getting hit by my brother, like they would literally run the opposite direction when they had the ball. He was that guy, right? So my brother was like it for me. I'm like, that's who I need to be right there. That's who I need to be. I need to be good like him so I can be good at other stuff. So we were privileged enough to be able to get a Nintendo when it came out. And I shared a bedroom with my brother at the time. At the time it was Super Mario Brothers was the craze. Like, everybody had Super Mario Brothers. And so sharing a bedroom with my brother, those were the days of listening to, I think, Boys to Men and all that kind of stuff. We were just listening to good music. We had a lot of gangster rap in as well, but it was just listening to music, playing video games. Like, we would lose days playing video games. Just Super Mario Brothers. Like, that's just what we did. Super Mario Brothers and Defender 2. Like, those games were it for us. Well, I couldn't compete initially with my brother. Like, he's 6.5 years older than I am. So of course I couldn't be able to keep up with him and his hand-eye coordination and all of that. But as time progressed, I was able to catch on to things a little bit. Still wasn't able to beat him. So we went from Nintendo to a Sega Genesis. Nintendo to Sega Genesis. Now, here's where things change. During this time period, my family actually moves into a different house, right? My family actually moves into a different house. And my brother, being 6.5 years older than I am, actually had the Sega Genesis in his room. So I don't know if it was like this in your house where you grew up and all that kind of stuff, but I used to have to get permission from my brother to go play the video game. Um, he had a different sleep pattern than I did, so if he was getting sleepy, I couldn't come into the room. Um, just all kind of inconveniences, right? But we did share a lot of quality time playing on the Sega Genesis. And I never forget it. What started everything for me this point in time, I'm at that awkward age. Like I'm 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, right? And my brother is like 15, 16, 17. So he didn't want to be around his younger brother. Like that's kind of like get away from me, move around, go find something to do. But we shared a lot of time playing Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam on the Sega. I still wasn't beating him initially. Like I just wasn't beating him. And so it was like common practice. Whenever I played my brother, I was gonna take a L. I was gonna get beat badly. But that competitive streak was still alive and well in me. Like if you beat me, we gotta run that back. Come on, let's play again. Let's play again. Come on, let's run it back. Well, I messed around and started taking it seriously, right? Not so much taking it seriously because it was fun, but I started taking video games seriously because it was an opportunity for me to spend time with my brother. And that's like what we did together. We played video games, and it was like the greatest thing on the face of the earth for me. And so I really started to focus on it. So when my brother would leave, I'm going into his room. When my brother would go out, I'm getting on the video game. When my brother would have football practice after school, I'm getting on the video game. Like any opportunity to get on the video game, I was taking it, I was maximizing it, I was using it. Well, it got to the point where I actually got a little bit better at video games. I started to pick up on patterns and strategies and techniques and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that really helped me tremendously was that alone time on the video game. So started playing my brother, and I started to beat him. And I started to beat him regularly. And it felt good coming from a 4th, 5th, 6th grader. Like I started routinely beating my brother. And it got to the point where I was expected to win. Like it got to the point where if I win, neither one of us was shocked. Like it was like, okay, yeah, that's just what you do. And I'm like, yeah, he respect me now. He respect me now. So good, I'm straight. I got it now. I'm good. So I knew I had my brother's respect on the sticks. Like I knew I had it, but nothing cemented it more than my brother used to hang around with these guys that he went to high school with. Shout out to Dub, shout out to Bryce, shout out to Dre, and others. A lot of them used to come by the house, right? My bedtime was always 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock. And my brother was one that he would sneak and wake me up. Now, my mom's room was right across the hall from mine, so she knew he was coming into my room to wake me up. But he would come and wake me up and make me, well, he wouldn't make me because it was my privilege to play, but he would challenge his boys and say that y'all can't beat my little brother. And so it had gotten to the point where I'm putting 40 on his homeboy. Like I'm beating him by 30, 40 points. And I'm like, hey, y'all older than me and I'm beating y'all, right? So it had gotten to the point where when I would start playing my peers, yeah, it was kind of ugly when I started to play my peers. I really didn't play my peers very often. So I did my practicing and training on the Sega of getting real serious about playing video games and getting good at it. Now let's fast forward to the PlayStation 1. Okay? Let's fast forward to the PlayStation 1. At this time, my brother was in college, and I'm still an avid gamer. Like I still like to play the game because when he would come by the house or we would do whatever with each other, we would make time to play video games. Now this is gonna age me a whole lot, and I don't even care. It's like, just listen. We used to play NFL Game Day. Some of y'all have no idea what that is. But it was like one of the greatest games on the face of the earth, right? One of the greatest games on the face of the earth. It was so archaic. Like, you literally could hit the juke move back and forth all the way down the field. All the way down the field, right? So, I'm still using that same competitive streak to advance and get good at this game, because at the same time, I know my brother comes home, we go run one. And I used to do them bad. Like, it had got to the point where he was like, you know what, I don't even play video games anymore, so I can't really keep up anymore. So we actually switched our games. But my homeboys at school would play these video games, and it was different then. Now you can just hit a button and you can play anybody in the world. But in those days, you used to have to go to somebody's house, have a sleepover or something like that to actually play a video game. Well, I didn't realize that my skills would translate very favorably to people my age. They translated very favorably to people my age. So I would often have friends over to the house and we would play video games, especially before football games. Like, that was like the time before my football games in high school. That was like the time when we would have people over and, we would play video games, eat good food before the game kicked off, and then we just have fun with each other. It was very rare that I was losing. I had one friend that, it was back and forth between us. Shout out to Joe. What's up, Joe? It was back and forth between us. Like, this was back when NCAA college football was out and all that good stuff. I think I'm actually into PlayStation 2 as well. But I never forget it because he used to always put Santana Moss in motion and streak him up the middle of the field, and there was nothing I could do about it. Anyway, but all of that goes into the creation of someone that plays video games still and loves it. It never came from, hey, video games are just fun, so let me keep playing them. No, video games for me is like comfort food for a lot of people. It's like some people's addiction. Some people they may have various vices that they like to do, and they go to it in times of comfort. Well, video games are that for me. When I play video games, it's not, oh man, I'm the best at this game, because I've lost it. I'm not who I used to be on the sticks. Don't get it twisted. You'll still get that work, but I know I'm not who I was. But when I play them, I feel those same feelings of, man, let me hear if it get better, because just in case my brother come by, and I'm a grown man. I've been grown a long time, but those feelings still come back, and it brings me comfort. So the origin of quote unquote Undergamer 870, it didn't start just with a kid just playing video games and just being good. It started out of a young boy desiring to spend time with his brother, and that's how it all got started. That's how I'm in front of you today. That's how I'm able to still play the game, and I'm not as good as I was, but I'm okay. So yeah, that's it. So those of you who have been asking, especially those of you who clown me in my stream about how long ago I used to be good. Yeah, you are right. I remember somebody saying, "Hey, he was good back in the days of PlayStation One." Before that, let's go even back further than that. I was good previously, but anyway, that so what? But yeah, that's where the origin of me gaming actually came from, and I still enjoy it. So, I laugh and I tell people, well, I don't know. This story may be news to my family. I'm actually going to send it to them when I'm done shooting it.